Everyone, I'm Michael, and for this video, I'll be discussing how the database works in my web application. To be precise, how does the database implies the CRUD or create, read, update, and delete on its tables. Take note that for this app, not every table has a complete CRUD, meaning there could be tables that only has create or maybe an update. So let's get started. First, I'll go with my schema. This one. So you can see I have 7 tables, not including these bedcheck dormers. We'll have bedchecks, daily reports, dormers, guards, student assistants, users, and lastly, violations. Out of 7 tables, only the dormers and the student assistants has complete CRUD. The rest are missing a function or two. Now let's go back to the web app. Let's log in using an admin account. After logging in, the first thing it will show where the students need to input their student numbers in order to create or update a daily report. But I'll discuss that later. Let's go first with the reading of the dormers. Go to students, then dormers. As you can see here, I've already created a few dormers on my own, and it's reading the name and room number, and if possible, if they have a picture, will also be counted. The code here is in here. That index part, at, particularly this at dormers, retrieves all the data inside the table and orders it by 6, then room number, then name, as you can see here. Hinata goes first, then Ino, then Elise, even though Elise's name should be first, but the sorting goes with room numbers first, then Dylan and Michael. Now let's go to creating a student. Go to students again, then add a student. And then 1886, but Ino's number 123, full name, Sakura, fine. Thanks, female. Course year, VS Ninjutsu. For course year, can just put her course, leave the year. You can also add pictures, but I'll save that later for the editing. Click submit. For that creation part, the code goes here. It's actually divided. Create a dormer.new, dormer params, the set of parameters in the dorm. Then it also creates the violation, initial violation, where the count is 0 for the minor and the major. Then at dormer.save is equivalent to dormer.create, where the given set of parameters will be created with the equivalence from the user input. Actually, to show the code, unbroken code, here it goes, dormers, then create dormers. There you go. It checks first if the dormer has valid inputs, then if the dormer has already existing student numbers, so there won't be repeating student numbers, and goes on. Now let's try editing. Sakura, edit. Let's try editing her name. You can edit, well, let's just say there's another Hinata. It's ninjutsu Hinata 2. Then I'll add pictures. That's the picture of a while ago. Then submit. It's taking a while. It's taking a while. Just wait. The pictures. So, there we go. Hinata 2, room 123, 1986 002. Pictures here. And for that part, the code will be here. Simple. Not these two parts. At dormers, because dormer.para. Same goes here to the updates. Dormer.update params, meaning it updated already. Student assistant. Well, just in case the student is also student assistant, we'll edit it here too. Now, let's go for the destroy part. The destroy part goes also with the edit. But let's check first the dormers to be sure that Hinata 2 is already in the base. There you go, you can see her here. Let's click it. Then let's click edit again. For deletion, just click delete. And Hinata 2 is gone. As you can see, you can find it in here. Def destroy. At dormer, find params again. It's looking for the ID. The ID is actually automatically generated, and you can see it here. 5. It's just a number. Dormer.destroy. The violation will also be destroyed. Now, if the student is a student assistant, her record of being a student assistant will also be destroyed. Next would be, let's go for it, student assistant. Since we're already here, now let's try going back and let's go with Elise first. Elise, then let's add her to the SA. That's how you create the SA. Simply clicking by that, and you can already see it here. Create. Student assistant to create. It will save these parameters. And in the dormer, we'll also update that is underscore SA to true. Now, where does the reading part goes? For student assistants. Oops. Yeah, is it print? Take note that those pictures of my code I print screened it from Linux, and I'm doing the video with Windows. Let's go to bed check, then new bed check. Here is where her name is being read. So it's the guard's name, and it goes with the bed checks. Actually, it's in the front end of the bed checks where it reads it. Let me show you. This is the front end for the bed checks. Look at that. Look at that. Source codes path from above. Views bed checks underscore show that html.erb, where the F select for the drop down comes from student assistant.all and guard.all. I'll explain the read. I think I explained the update, but I'm gonna explain it again. Look at Elise here. Go to students, dormers. Elise, try editing it. Same Mary. And save, go back to bed check, and as you can see, it's updated to Mary already. Because when you update the dormer here, you also update the student assistants. Oops, where is it? There you go. There must be an update this part where it finds the dormer ID. You have equal IDs. Then hit update. Now to delete the student assistants, go back to the dormers, click Mary, and simply remove as SA. And Mary is no longer a student assistant. Code part would be here. This the destroy function. Student assistant that find params that destroy. Then the dormer attribute is underscore SA will be turned to F, or meaning false. It's a boolean, by the way. Now let's go to bed check. You bed check. Wait. I need Mary to be, or any one of these to be, say Dylan, to be an essay again, in order to create a bed check. I'm just gonna create a bed check. Now we need to input a valid student number, because if we input a student number does not exist. So let's just say 1986-0000. The essay name would be Dylan. Submit, save endorsement. Now where does the create bed checks coming from? In this code. Create. There you go. At bed check equals to bed check new parameters. Where this definition of bed check params permits the code to use or to edit these attributes of the table. Then date time is very crucial if you want to save the, because we want to save the time of when this bed check occur, the student. Now if dormer exists already in the bed check tables, you can no longer add him or her. Up next would be reading the bed checks. Go to new bed check, then endorsements. As you can see here, we have added in Hinata a while ago with 1986-5 zeros, and it would be here. It actually reads the dormers joins, inner joins, the bed checks on bed check that student numbers equals to dormers that student number, because on bed checks table we only have the student numbers. And let me check the schema. I always forgot what's on the attributes. Where is it? Bed checks. We only have student number, the essay name, guard name, a date, and dormer ID. Dormer ID being a foreign key. We don't have the student's name on it. So yeah, when reading this, actually joins it with ped checks. Then for deleting it, simply press delete. There you go. For that part, we have here ped check that find params ID, ped check that destroy. Simple as that. Next part will be daily reports. Yeah, daily reports here. This one's for reading, but let's first create the daily reports. For daily reports, I'll just need to input a student number. For example, is Hinatas 1906. Enter. There you go. Then it vanishes. Ta-da! Where's that code? Daily reports. Not that, but it's actually in here in home where you create a daily report because it's part of the front end. It's in the front end too. That what you call this limits, I guess the word, the controllers, or yeah, probably limits. It's the word, or encapsulates perhaps. But I took the advantage of creating a dormer here because I can do that. Anyways, here you can see if dormer exists, daily report to create. Student number, where the title is where you get, where the input is from, remember? Well, actually, we'll be reading first if the status is in from the dormers, which is by default if you create a dormer, it's in actually. Status would be out, then create its time in or out. Then else will be if the status is out, then updating status of the dormer will be in, the report status should be in too. Now for the reading part. Oh, I'm running out of gas. Oh my god. Daily report. Just click the daily report and you can see here Hinata's daily report. Where can you see that? It's actually in the daily reports. For daily reports, just simply dormer select dormers. This is from dormers.name, dormers.room underscore number, daily reports.status, and daily reports created at. The inner joins, again, just like from the bed checks, it inner joins the dormers because we want the maximum number of statuses of the dormers. Want we don't want a single output of it, or is it right? Anyways, you know the logic when it's inner joins, right? Number of the number of the number of rows in daily reports becomes the maximum number of add. Whoever has the maximum number of rows, when you combine it and it has the same attributes, it will be the maximum number of rows for the new joint tables. Imagine a Venn diagram where you only get the middle of it. Anyways, the order would be the room number first, then the name, then the reports. As you can see here, Dylan goes first because his name goes first, then the room number, even because Hinata and Dylan's room are in the same room number, then the time is here, the status is also here. To show that the if statements of for the status works, I'm gonna log in again, Hinata. Ta-da! Daily report. There you go, Hinata. It's her new login. She's in. Actually, yeah. Initially, I'm quite done somehow, but for let me just check my pictures. Ah, right, violations. I almost forgot. I apologize. The user is just simply reading the user new params, the IDs, but doesn't do much because I didn't have any any creation of users because for me it's very crucial for the security. Imagine a student creating a user. Then he or she can log in and out from the dorm anywhere where he wants as long as he or she has connection. Now for violations, let's go to the students, dormers. Let's just say Michael, me, add violation. Then minor becomes one. Violation exists is the creation part. If violation exists in the dormer, of course it does exist. It should be existing. I just need to make sure. Violation exists. Violation to find the Mardi. It increments the minor. Now, if minor is greater than or equal to 3, must probably just greater than just equal to. It increments the major. Let's try it. 2, 3. There you go. Again, minor 1, minus 2, then another major becomes 2. Then destroy. There's no destroy for violations. I just accidentally put that code. Yeah, for reading part, I already showed you a while ago. It's in the dormers. Where is it? Oh, there you go. It's the show where this function shows the profile, shows or gets the value from the database to show it to the front end of the profile. And there you go. Actually, try logging out and try logging in using a non-admin account. I think you know the password already. And this is a non-admin account where it's only student number and there's no creations or buttons here. Let's try it. 1906. Hinata again. Let's try my student number. Oh my god, I'm so old. Then try logging out. Its purpose is so that students can't supposedly can't log in or out without access unless they have access. Let's see that creation again. I think you'd really know my password now. There you go. Michael is in, Hinata is out again. It's updating the database. Now, you're wondering why there's no guard crude or card. Actually, there's a card reading a while ago from the front end of the call is of Bedrex, right? But maybe you're wondering why there's no creating for both guards and both admins. For me, I believe that administration or the staff of the dorms should be seated by me, I guess, for safety purposes. Because imagine if a student, like I said a while ago, imagine if a student can create an account, they could just play with the database, play with this. even if the account is non-admin, they imagine them just imagine them having access to this part where they can update already. For example, 20 19 6. I have 0001. There you go, it's Eno. They could probably cheat the program. Not the program, but could probably cheat the system, I think. So gonna create a I'm not gonna create or delete or update a an a user or a guard. But for the Dormos instance, of course, the admin should take care of that. Anyways, that should wrap up my video for this database. Um, for this database tutorials. I don't know what you call this, and I hope that you like it. Thank you.